What is going on, everybody? On here, and now that the dust has settled from the TCG player sale on Friday, all the orders are out and shipped. We can now take a little bit of a break and we can talk Pokemon again. So, 30th anniversary. We'll talk about that at the end. News is out. Like I said, people's brains are going to melt when they see everything. Obviously, what you've seen so far is just a little fraction. We'll talk a little bit about that at the end. But I do want to talk about market opportunities today because there are quite a few. And if you don't like sets because you don't like the cards in the set, you think it sucks, well, that's okay. You can like the cards because you like the cards, the sets because you like the sets. But if you're looking at buying product and hoping it goes up or think it's going to go up over a longer period of time, you need to think a little bit outside the box because the sets that the screaming Timmy dumbasses on the internet don't like tend to outperform the other sets in the long term. So that being said, Chaos Rising. So as I mentioned in my video on Sunday night, the second wave of the ETBs, the bundles, and the booster boxes, it seems, are ready to come to market. Looks like they'll probably be shipped from distribution next week. So what that should tell you is end of next week, and the 2 weeks following, you're going to have the best opportunity to buy the product if you want it, because it's going to be the most saturated that the market is most likely ever going to be, unless at some point in 2027, the reprint policy changes. But as quickly as these guys are pumping out product, I significantly doubt we're going to get a whole lot of this product anytime soon. You guys may have seen that the Mega Greninja SIR is still holding strong at just under $500. The gold card is right around $300. Yeah, it's going to do the same thing that all gold cards do. But ultimately, there's no reason to believe that this set doesn't perform at a fraction of what Phantasmal Flames has done. Now, obviously, it's not a Charizard set, but it is going to do reasonably well. And I will remind you that the Chaos Rising booster box print run was fairly significantly larger than what it was for Perfect Order. Perfect Order was somewhere between 12 and 15%. Again, this is just my best estimate. Less than what Phantasmal Flames was. Chaos Rising is actually a little bit higher than what Phantasmal Flames was. So a meaningful amount of additional product of Chaos Rising in the market. But again, these packs are getting ripped like crazy. I don't know if you guys have looked at the actual single number or the number of cards that are out here already. But the world of rip and ship is shredding this thing. I mean, look at the illustration of 400 of these. Illustration of 400, SIR obviously only 83 of these. 131 SIRs. The fact that we're in the 400s, high 300s on some of these illustration rares is an astronomical number of product. And I actually looked at this compared to Perfect Order, and there's nowhere near this number. I should say near the 400s, if you will, especially on the bestsellers list. So the product is getting shredded at all-time high velocities. The sealed product is going to perform well. It's just kind of a matter of time. And if we go back here to booster boxes, and this is what's interesting, and I've mentioned this previously, the large stores that you cannot wrap your head around because they are that large, many of which you've probably never heard of because they don't market themselves as who they sell through, they're holding a lot of product back, especially with booster boxes, because they don't have to sell them. And again, if your cost basis is $100, if the market falls apart and the world ends and you sell them for $125 or $100, you're fine. If the market does what it's been doing for the last 2 years, and instead of selling at $200, they can now sell at $300, $400, $500, that's a much better investment than they're going to get anywhere else. And these master stores are hyper, super, whatever fucking adjective you want to use, capitalized, so they don't have to sell the shit. And that is why we're seeing 844 boxes on the market. Normally, right around release, you're going to see close to 2,000, which, again, it's a pretty sizable number. If we go back, let's see if we can go to Surging Sparks, because obviously this set is little bit over a year old now. And if we go to the booster boxes, last time I checked, 814 boxes on the market. So there are only slightly fewer boxes of a set. Now, granted, this was reprinted multiple times on the market than there are of the newest set. So that should just tell you how quickly the product's getting shredded and how much product is being withheld from the open market because the big boy stores just don't have to. So moving to the second opportunity, perfect order. Again, I said this in my video on Sunday. Wave 2 of booster boxes, I'm told, is not going to come out until the middle of July. They're purposely holding the booster boxes back to make sure the market's supported so they don't crash the market. In my opinion, it's just they're going to push an MSRP increase through, and they don't want that to mess with their plans. But we got the ETBs. I believe we've gotten the bundles. If you're going to buy the boxes, I would buy them now. Quite honestly, if you think this set is complete garbage and it's Journey Together, and as I mentioned before, I would buy this set all day, every day that ends in a Y over Destined Rivals right now, because in my opinion, in the next year, 2 years, it's going to outperform because there's going to be a severe shortage of this compared to what we've gotten from the rest of those sets. It's going to perform amazingly well. And all we have to do, look at the ETBs. The ETBs here are $75. Our friends in Miami, 280 boxes. Hopefully that's going to end soon, given the direction of Pokemon supposedly really tightening the amount of English boxes into Latin America. Let's look at Journey. The booster boxes. Look at the enhanced booster boxes. $275, $280, and there's 136 on the market. If you think that when Perfect Order has 136 boxes on the market, the hype is going to continue. I don't give a shit when anybody says it's a bubble. It's not. This is absolutely stone cold organic demand, and there's nothing that's going to slow it down anytime soon because they keep making product that people want, and that's really all that matters. The boxes, when there's 136 on the market of Perfect Order, are going to be north of $400, and it's just what it's going to be. The ETBs that I couldn't give away when they were $65, $70, your lowest list is $135. Who the fuck wants an ETB of Perfect Order? Well, I'll tell you who. Nobody. That's why they didn't print any, and that's why the price is $135 per ETB. So little Timmy, who thinks this set's garbage, so is Sword and Shield base. And what do we see? $700, $800 booster boxes because the demand is fantastic, but the amount of supply and anything short printed in this market is exponentially more powerful than any amount of demand that comes into the market. And it just is what it is. Now with Destined, obviously you get both. You got one print run, no other booster boxes. You have massive demand. So, that's why you're seeing a booster box going from $225, $230 at release to north of $600. You're not going to see the exponential demand here, but you're going to see a much tighter supply. That's why this is an opportunity. Again, you may not like the set, but this is a supply and demand game because there's always going to be at least a certain level of demand. The product's going to get ripped. When things age, people are going to look back at this set and they're going to look at it differently. And people never look back and say, wow, that set's shittier than I thought it was. They look back and they're like, man, I remember when that was so cheap. Maybe I'll open that. So moving on, in tandem, Mega Moonlit tin cases. These are shipping this week. They release on Friday. Every store out there is going to start dumping these. You're going to be able to get tin cases at sub $200, most likely, which is probably going to put the packs somewhere between $550 a pack. The tins are beautiful. You have the Gengar tin, and you have the I always say Clefairy, but it's Clefable, whatever the hell it is. I don't really give a shit. There are 2 packs of Chaos Rising, 2 packs of Perfect Order. These tins are going to age extremely well. They do have the exclusive promos. Now, whether you like them or not, Gengar cards, they age well over time. I would keep an eye out for these when you see the broke-ass Timmy stores. You guys should know who they are at this point. Dumping these, I highly recommend. This is going to be a product that ages extremely well because your entry point is going to be significantly less than what it is for something like a 30th anniversary or something like a Pitch Black. And it just is what it is. Moving on in the same vein, we have these Lumiose mini tins. Now, we haven't seen a whole lot of mini tins, and we certainly haven't seen restocks of mini tins outside of Prismatic and 151. The Mega Heroes mini tins from, I think it was end of 2025. We got one wave of those, haven't seen anything since. There's really no reason to put these out after the fact because, again, it looks like it's going to be one perfect order and one Chaos Rising. So you got 10 tins, I believe, in display. I don't know why it says this. So 20 packs. You're probably going to be able to get these somewhere around $130, $140 in reality when they come out. Anywhere around $6 a pack. It's going to be a good deal. The art on these is really going to drive, in my opinion, is going to drive value longer term. Most mini tin displays just look like shit because they're made to rip apart and sell the tins individually. This is kind of like a piece of art that is disassembled in the tins. Well, I mean, it is. So, again, if you can get them cheap enough, this is something to keep your eyes on. And then the last item here, Mega Zygarde EX Premium Collections. The market of these is so stupidly cheap. And again, we ran our sale on TCG Player. You can see this bar right here is our sale on TCG Player. And again, we sold them at a discount to get eyes on TCG Player to move some product. But quite honestly, if we sold 0, that would have been fine. If we sold them all, that's great. But you have 6 perfect order packs. You also have 2 Phantasmal Flames packs. So let's put a pin in that. Assume that you have $6 a pack for perfect order. So $36. The Phantasmal packs, call it $10 a pack. Now you're 46. Now you're 56. You get the promo, 57, 58. You're looking at somewhere around $60 of premium on this, or of resale value if you just pull it apart. And you're going to have a second wave of this coming in. And people are going to sell the cases at MSRP. And if you can get these at MSRP, which I think is $39.99, 5 times 8, $40, somewhere around $39.99, it's a stone cold steal. We've seen what happens with these EX boxes over time. By the end of the year, depending on how much they dump Phantasmal, these are probably $75, $80 boxes. And I don't know where else you're going to see an opportunity for a double up at the retail level in this space right now. Perfect order ETB is probably not quite there, but something like this can move there very, very quickly. So just pointing that out. We already talked about Journey Together. Again, all you need to do is look at Journey Together and you can see what it's done. In the last year, 78%. If you're buying in a super, super hot market and you can do 78% in spite of the fact that the prices of everything are inflated, you're absolutely fucking crushing it. And that's kind of what I'm trying to point out for you guys. So moving on to some craziness. Everybody's going to jump for the first partners, obviously the Series 1s. I haven't even looked at how many are listed recently. I mean, you're looking at $70. And there's 380 in the market, but this is absolutely crazy. People love them. Series 2, again, and I just sorted on 30th here. I don't know why still have crowns coming up, but I love that as well. First partner Series 2, $50 or $65. Series 3, it's going to be the same thing. This is Series 3 here. They're already through the roof. Pokemon Days, these things were like $22 forever. Now they're at $40 because people are buying them, they're ripping them, and they're disappearing. Everything related to 30th anniversary going forward is going to be super, super inflated. I know you guys are going to want to buy it. And, I recommend that you buy it, you rip it, you have fun. But if you want to buy something to put away, the odds of downside on something like Chaos Rising, if you buy it at the right point, perfect order, these mini tins and the Mega Zygarde boxes, is substantially less than what it's going to be for these products. Now, do I think they're going to reprint these? I have no fucking idea. Are we getting inching closer to 2027? Yeah, it's June now. Are they going to hit this again in Q1, Q2 of 2027? They might. Might they be too far gone to adjust in price? They very well could be. We just don't know. My mindset in a market like this, if I'm buying something to put on a shelf, I want to minimize my downside, which also tends to extend my upside as well if the market keeps going crazy, because there's obviously more room to run from a percentage perspective. But hey, you guys are all going to do what you want to do. So speaking of Pitch Black, the box is already selling for $260. I saw the Mega Darkrai in Japanese was like $500 already. I gotta look that up because I know obviously, Bisai Japanese isn't perfect, and I know there was some fuckery going around with boxes coming out of Japan because they're gonna do that. They're gonna smash our faces if we deal with Japanese cards because they can. Because Americans are stupid. Yeah, $500. There's no fucking way in English this is $1,000 card. Now, is it going to be 300 to 500, 300 to 600 like the Mega Greninja? Sure, it's probably going to be. Which means that these Pitch Black boxes, they're going to look very, very similar to Chaos Rising. The amount of supply in the market is almost identical. So, again, you can't go wrong with any of this stuff. So, on to the last item and everybody's favorite, my ad blocker. You guys, went away. So for 30th, I actually had, it was giving me an ad for Flesh and Blood because I've talked so much shit on Flesh and Blood at this point because it's mind-numbing. So 30th anniversary. So I talked about this briefly in Discord. That's going to be a Charizard, a Pikachu in every pack. Obviously, not trying to spoil anything here. But outside of that, I do want to mention that these cards, just click on these. My understanding is this is not the Hyper Chase version of the cards. These are just your standard SIRs. There is a cooler version, supposedly a red, a green, and a purple. So we'll see. Potentially God pack only, and there will be God packs in here. That shouldn't be a surprise. But as we get into 30th anniversary, the prices of this stuff is going to go absolutely batshit crazy because everybody's going to want it. Everybody's going to chase it. The Mew, the Mewtwo, the SIRs alone are probably going to be $800, $900 cards. The Super Hyper Chase, which are going to have pull rates of which we've never seen and much longer than what we've seen for the All Arts in Sword and Shield. We'll just have to trust me on that. We're talking thousands of dollars a card. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for tonight. Hopefully you appreciate the ads here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. We're going to run our sale tomorrow on Mega Moonlit Tins. I think we'll probably limit it between 2 and 4 cases per sub. And we'll see what happens. So anyway, guys, have a great night.